every one of them. The October 2019 meeting of the Commissioner Elderly will come to order. Please rise and join me in saluting the flag in a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
So I'll do roll call
You're
today.
going to do roll call. Thank you.
John Wallace,
Here.
Mark Ryan,
Here.
Pat Robash,
Here.
Charlotte DeMarco,
Here.
Gail Protopappas,
Here.
Robin Theodos,
Here.
and, did I miss anyone? No. Mary Dion?
Here.
Mary Dion. Sorry, Mary.
Thank you. Okay, the minutes of August 15, 2019. Robin Theodos moved to accept the minutes of August 15, 2019 as written. It was seconded by Mark Ryan. One
So,
motion made in second.
yeah, I still keep going, never mind.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not seeing that. Am I?
The minutes?
Oh, okay, I've got it, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Director's report. The August monthly statistics was read into the record by Terry Marciello and will be delivered to Town Hall. New business. Good Neighbor Program. The response for this program has been extraordinary. We have had many people calling to nominate their extremely helpful neighbors. Terry emphasized how fortunate we are to have these wonderful people who are extremely helpful with our seniors. We will be thanking these good neighbors on Friday, September 27, 2019, with a special treat, and it was good. The Wii Tournament. We want to congratulate our Wii group for winning back the trophy against North Reading on Monday, July 29th, 2019. This is such a great group that have lots of fun and laughs. Movie Day. Our next movie day will be Thursday, October 10th, 2019, and we will be showing Calendar Girls. Game night. We started this fun event back in May, and we will have had positive response. We will be hosting game night tonight with a light dinner and games. We have approximately 25 to 38 people who signed up for this event. We will host our last game night for the year on Thursday, October 17th, 2019, and we will begin once again when the weather is good in the spring. Perkins Library Program. This program will take place on Thursday, September 26, 2019, at 1 p.m. There are many different resources for all types of vision issues. Please reach out to other members in our community to let them know about this great information program. Flu Clinic. We will support from the Board of Health. Tracy Mello, our town nurse, will be dispensing flu vaccines at the senior center on Thursday, October 17th, 2019, from 10 to 12 p.m. It is important for those interested to register with Paula or Lisa and acquire an appointment time. We are limited to 45 seniors at this time. Granite State trip. This trip was originally scheduled for Wednesday, September 18, 2019, and has been canceled due to lack of interest. Fit Body Boot Camp. We have had a great response with many seniors interested in this program. At this time, we have a waiting list for our second session that will begin on Monday, September 23, 2019. Selectmen's Meeting. At the September 9, 2019 Selectmen's Meeting, Terry presented with what actually occurs at the senior center. They were surprised to hear about the various exercise programs that our seniors take part in. Terry extended our thanks to the community for offering different exercise programs for seniors at their facility. The selectmen question of having a committee to look into a new senior center. Terry reiterated how thankful we are for Audrey for bringing this issue forward and making sure that we are heard. Robin Theodore's asked if this new committee will be open to the public. Terry stated that this new committee was mentioned but not yet confirmed. Home delivery meals. At this time, we are in need of 2 home-delivered meal drivers. If interested, the hours are approximately 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., and the compensation is $26 per day with mileage allowance of 45 cents per mile. This is a great opportunity to visit with seniors and see the smiling faces. If you know of anyone that might be interested, please refer them to us. Grandparents' Day. Terry would like to acknowledge and thank everyone who was involved and helped with this event. A special thank you for Kylie, our Zumba instructor, Greta, our Tai Chi instructor, and special thanks to WCTV and all their support. Memory Cafe. We want to thank our new Community Liaison Officer, Butch Elpers, who stopped by our Memory Cafe on Wednesday, September 18th, 2019. He was extremely helpful with parking at the 4th of July building. He took part in our yoga meditation class, and we are extremely thankful for his support. Audrey Reed, new senior center update. Audrey wanted to inform the commissioners that since she did her presentation, she has received so much support and positive feedback. Audrey also stated that she had a positive experience attending the selectmen's meeting. She mentioned that Joan Marie Mahoney will be guest speaker at the senior center during Audrey's Corner of Conversation, which will be held on Friday, September 20th, 2019. She reiterated the importance of attending the facility master plan discussion on September 30th, 2019 at the Wildwood School. Terry stated that there will be some seniors that are concerned about driving in the evening, and she would like to make a van available and suggested people carpool. Gail Protopappas suggested that should be a sign up for rides in the building. Terry mentioned that Selectman Greg Bentel has questions on having another discussion on this issue here at the senior center. Terry emphasized the importance of keeping this energy in this building and to show our support at the September 30th meeting. Comments from the audience? None. Comments from the commissioners? Robin Theodore wanted to thank Audrey Reed for bringing this issue forward and raising interest for a new senior center. Mark Ryan stated that he put together a podcast titled Buzz Podcast, where he interviewed several seniors asking what they enjoyed at the senior center. He also interviewed various groups that meet here and emphasize the need for space. Mark stated that this podcast also allows people to see what actually happens at the center, all the activities that take place, and that it is an active place, not just seniors sitting around. This podcast can be found on YouTube and is also available on WCTV. Gail Protopappas mentioned that in our knitting and crocheting group, there was a discussion about people stating that the senior center is only a place for bingo and a new center is not needed. Gail reiterated that so much more here at the senior than just bingo. It is a place to come, meet friends, take part in classes, exercise programs, and so much more. The knitting and crocheting group alone has over 25 people, and sometimes the room is too crowded to comfortably work. Terry stated that we are not only a senior center, but the Department of Elderly Services housed at the senior center, along with our transportation and home delivered meals program. Adjourned. There being no further business to come before the commission, Mark Ryan to move to adjourn the meeting. It was seconded by Gail Protopappas. Upon motion made and second, voted to adjourn the meeting at 2:04. Next commissioners meeting is scheduled for October 17th, 2019 at 1:30 p.m. Respectfully submitted, Paula Mirabella, Senior Clerk. Do we have any additions or corrections on the minutes? None. Do we have a motion to accept the minutes as read? We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Do we have a second? All in favor? Aye. At this time, we'll turn the meeting over to the Director of Elderly Services, Terry Marciello. Terry?
Hi, okay. All right, so, you see we have a long agenda here. I'm gonna quickly go through some of this, just the dates, because, there is some information that I feel that is more crucial and more, when I say crucial, important to discuss, okay? So just to go over quickly, I see here, I wrote October 10th was for the movie, that was this past month. We are having one for November, but the date has not been given as of yet. For game night was such a success. Tonight is our last night for the fall, as mentioned in the previous minutes. We are trying to determine, everyone loves us so much, we are trying to determine if we should be doing it sooner rather than later, as in, obviously for November and December, January, February, but maybe starting March. So we're trying to see how we can get this going again, because everyone has enjoyed it so much. The flu shots, I have to thank the Board of Health, Tracy Mello, being here today, doing the flu shots with us. A great success. She had some interns with her, and they were absolutely phenomenal. So there is a town-wide flu shot clinic also, but we just found, actually Patty found out for us that Carewell in Tewksbury and in Billerica, they do have that high dose flu shot still available. CVS and several of them are out of it. Tracy was out of it today at the end, so I just wanted to let you know that there are those 2 locations if anyone should ask. The home modification program that we were going to be having for this month on the 24th has been postponed. They wanted to know if we could possibly do it next month, and I asked them if why don't we do it right after, for the early spring, because next month we're pretty booked when it comes to scheduling.
Excuse me, could I ask what that entails?
Home modification?
Yes.
So those are that's a loan program right now to help whether you should need a new shower, handicap shower, a ramp going in the home, extending your doorways to make it larger, a number of things to make the home more accessible.
I thought that's what it was, but I just wanted to clarify.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
So I think it's a really important information for us to know. She did send us more information, so I will be writing it for the November newsletter, just putting a little blurb as to if anyone's interested, they can actually give them a call too. But they had a schedule conflict with us. Very happy to say the Firemen Union, Wilmington Firemen Union, they invited us for a breakfast, which as a lot of you already know, for Saturday, October 19th. This is an annual event, and they're just so good to us, so we still have availability. If you know of anyone talking about it, we can get you in there, but I want to thank them ahead of time for always thinking of us, always extending themselves, and this is a great time too to meet a lot of the new firemen that have come aboard. And that's from 8 to 10. I wrote PM. Wouldn't they like that if you had a breakfast from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m.? Woo-hoo! Oh, we just have dinner and everything there. So that's AM. The Halloween party, we are having and I heard everybody loud and clear last year that we didn't have a Halloween party. So we are having one this year. I've already heard from a couple people of costumes that they've already chosen. We are having prizes and giveaways. So I would like to be able to, there's still openings for that also. The staff and I just feel that November should be a thank you month, just as we had in September, thank the neighbor. I think where there's so many people that, through the year that we'd like to thank, whether it be our representative, our senators, our selectmen, but businesses in the area that have been so good to us, and also volunteers that have been good to us, have gone the extra mile. So to keep your eye open for November as being the thank you month. For Medicare enrollment, there's open enrollment right now, so it's really crucial that people that are on Medicare kind of questioning to fine tune their insurance. That we are having a discussion on November 7th at 1 o'clock here at the senior center of talking about the Medicare and the open enrollment process. We also have our 2 Shine counselors, Shirley and Marilyn, that are coming in and have, actually, I have to tell you, right now, currently, the appointments are pretty full, but they are trying to be more, a little more flexible, but people are aware that they really want to meet with their Shine counselors. So if anyone else is in need, just let us know. Minuteman Senior Services, Elaine Miller, I don't know if you saw us on one of my conversations with WCTV, the TV program. She actually did speak. She's the new regional director. She's phenomenal. So if we do have a problem that we have, so many people calling, we can call Elaine directly for Minuteman. I'm happy to say that the Winchester Community Fund, Winchester Hospital Community Programming, they have delegated us to be able to have a presentation here, as you see Dr. Gupta, for the eye health. It's, they have promotions that with Winchester Hospital as to eat and learn, lunch and learn. We used to do them, oh gosh, it was quite a few years back, and then it kind of stopped, and now I got in touch with this woman, Mary Lou, again, because working with the library with another program. So Mary Lou's like, I would love to have one at your senior center, and obviously she doesn't have to say it to us twice. So we grabbed at the moment for the eye health. And the reason that we had the eye health is that on Tufts medical survey they do for all communities, for some reason in Wilmington, the biggest health issue was glaucoma, the one that really stood out. So we felt it was really important for us to have a glaucoma discussion, eye care discussion, seeing as that really stood out in that health survey. So that will be at noontime. Feel free to sign up for that one with Lisa. And that's on November 20th. And then obviously we'll be getting a lunch with that. Then on November 8th, we will be having our Veterans Luncheon. And at the same time, we are having Senator Tarr and Representative Robertson also invited to that occasion. So just to let you know, we will be having them also, and as you know, to say, get our veterans all together, say thank you and have a lunch. And I can't tell you exactly what we're having for lunch at this moment because you'll all laugh, but we are having lunch on that day. As a reminder, obviously the center will be closed on the 11th, which is Veterans Day itself, but Lou Samaglia and the Veterans Department also will be having the ceremonies, and I'll be getting more information about that on that Monday right at the Common, that I know so many of us are present for. And I can't believe I'm even going to be saying this, but the 28th and 29th, 28th obviously we're celebrating Thanksgiving. I can't believe we're talking November for Thanksgiving. All right, so obviously I went through that rather quickly. Before I go on to the next subject, I do want to also say thank you publicly to Mark Ryan to doing a fantastic job at an event that we had here in October and starting our discussion of a new senior center. And at the time, we thought it was going to be just a little informational for Audrey to look back at, but Mark felt it was really such great information and people having a good vibe that he felt that it would be a great idea to get it out on his podcast and information. I think it was also WCTV.
Yes.
And
YouTube.
he did a phenomenal job, and I think he really deserves kudos for editing that and making sure it got out, and I appreciate that very much.
Thank you.
So, the next conversation, and this is where I need your interaction here. So I don't know if any of you got to see the selectmen's meeting that was this past Monday. Myself, Audrey was there at the meeting, and so wasn't Laura Pickett, because on the agenda was questioning a committee for the new senior center. So it was discussed, and part of the discussion was, instead of a committee, they meaning one selectman in general was Jonathan Eaton, felt that it would be good, and also I believe the town manager spoke on, there's a permanent buildings committee. And felt that committee should be supportive to our commission in discussing the new senior center. And obviously, you know that we've been discussing this our past several meetings. Obviously, Audrey started that discussion on the need of a new senior center. And the commission, the selectmen feel that this commission, if we could give our opinion, I think we have, but we can most definitely be giving it again, as to the feeling specifically as to the senior center, the need for a new one, and how we feel that there's a need for a new one. What are the key things that we see as being an issue? And what would possibly be things that we'd like to see in the new senior center? That type of discussion. What are the vibes in the community with our population as to the need for a senior center? Anyone have any feedback before I go any further on what I'm saying?
I cannot you must be sick of me saying it, but I cannot say it enough. There was not enough room in this building to accommodate the amount of programs that this place offers. There is not enough room, no matter what you do. You could add on rooms, take it away from the parking lot. We don't have enough parking now. There is not enough room in this building. There's not enough parking in this area to accommodate what we have, what we offer. I can't say it enough. That's it.
One of the things I heard too was that some of the seniors were saying, you know, we're not our parents, we don't go to bed at 7 o'clock. We like to be out later and do things later in the evening. So that's another thing that should be considered, that maybe the senior center be open a little later for other programs.
Any other feedback? Any other starting of that discussion?
Covers it.
Well, the other, I know we keep repeating ourselves, and it is, I know you've clearly stated as to, I'm sorry, Robin,
This has not the building, but we also need senior housing, and we're gonna say it now, we'll say it again in the future, but right now we're not asking for everything all at once. But we're all getting older, we're all going in the same direction, and we all have different needs. I would like to downsize, I can't afford to, I don't know where to go, what to do. Wilmington can do better. Wilmington can do better than what's going on right now. And I'm not saying that the selectmen are shoving us off to another department, but I would like to see all departments work towards our needs being satisfied. And that's it. Thank you very much.
well, the other piece to this is, so I also have put a little bit of thought, because I really feel that as a commission, you know, every single one of you had clearly stated your views on the need for a new senior center. So I think it might be a wonderful idea for us as having a group get together, a side group get together on information finding for senior centers. As in this group, yes?
We've been doing information findings for 5 years now that I know of.
Right.
Keep going, yep, keep
I'm
talking.
tired of it. When is something gonna be done? It's like they keep pushing us off and pushing us off.
Mhm.
They have all this land, And, oh, well, we have the master plan, well, we have this, well, we have that. Well, do something. It's been a long time coming.
It's been a long time.
It's been over 50 years that I've lived in this town, and I've heard the same thing. We
I-
are desperate
I'm
for
just
senior
tired of it.
housing. We're still waiting for something to be done about it, over 50 years.
I'm losing interest
Nothing's
because I
happened.
feel like they don't care enough.
They don't.
They don't.
We need new
That's
doggy
how I
parks.
feel, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, but I have seen situations where people will ignore you till you're worn out, and then you go
I think
away.
that's the situation.
Well, it's pretty sad, and I'm sick of it if that's what's going on. We need some assistance, we need something done. How long does it take? Who do we appeal to? We've been to the selectmen, and now you're putting us on to another person. And I
I've al-
understood the selectmen were going to have a special committee. I haven't seen that materialize, I don't know if it has or it hasn't.
It was voted down on last meeting.
Okay, so that's disappeared too.
I've also
What
heard,
are we, second-class citizens? What's going on? What's not going on?
comments from some of the selectmen who say, we have plenty of time for the seniors. Well, we're the seniors that built this town. We need it
You know,
now.
they're gonna be seniors one of these
They
days.
will
Well,
be seniors one of
you
these
know,
days.
I hope somebody treats them better than the way we're being treated, because
Exactly.
Wilmington can do better.
The sad part is that I've listened to a lot of discussions like this, and there are a majority, I shouldn't say a majority, there are a lot of seniors here at the center who have a defeatist attitude, and they think that it'll never be done.
Why?
And they're taking that attitude
Why?
because it's always been talked about. That's one thing. The second thing is they're saying, I'm not gonna raise my taxes. I don't wanna pay any more taxes. And so they keep on harping on those defeatist attitude, and they're going against our badges that say it's our time.
Our
know,
taxes are going to go up no matter what.
I know.
But what is it going to go towards?
And
How
we
about it
have,
goes towards
we have been
the
paying
seniors
for
this time?
years, our taxes, our seniors, we've been paying for all the other amenities that have taken place in town.
point.
The schools, the parks, the baseball fields, the soccer fields. When are we gonna get something that we can enjoy here? And all of the people in town are eventually gonna be seniors. And we're all gonna enjoy the things that are available for us here. In our dwindling years, we'd like to be able to participate still, actively participate. And we have contributed to the town for many, many years. And so, why are we being thrown by the wayside?
Well, one of the things at the meeting the other night too, they were talking about an ice rink. We got an ice rink, why do we need another one?
What is that all about? I'm thinking of coming back as a doggy, because now we got a dog park.
Yeah, we've got a dog park. We've got a nice rink.
Well, I feel, I
Are we
sometimes feel,
duplicating?
by the time we finally get around to saying, okay, we're going to do senior housing or we're not gonna be alive to see it anyway. Because this is just going back and forth and back and
There's a good chance we
forth.
aren't gonna be alive.
It's ridiculous.
There's a good chance we aren't gonna be alive, all right? But don't you think they ought to at least start?
They should.
At
And the
least
younger
start,
people
maybe
that,
some of us will see
those
it.
that are in their 50s that are still working should start standing up because they're not far off from being a senior citizen.
That's right.
And
And
if you,
the-
if you
most
could
of our
remember,
kids
if
are
we
in
could
their
kind of
50s
go
at this
back
point.
as to, the original senior center was actually just a group of people that met at Market Basket,
Yeah.
which was then Demoulas.
That's right.
And there was a very
remember that.
strong leadership of a group of people that no one listened to for a while there. And they made it strong enough and grouped together strong enough to get this building that was sitting here and not being used and made it into a senior center. So things can happen, but you know what? They're at a point where people need to be, your opinions matter. And they're saying that they're not hearing your opinions. Well, you know what? I'm so happy that each and every one of you have stated your opinions and continue to state your opinions. that it's truly needed, that we can't be, as you're saying, sit back and be quiet, and that we're gonna be quiet if they,
It doesn't do any good. Nothing gets accomplished. Even when we're vocal, it seems that we're not, maybe we aren't organized enough. Maybe you don't see a large crowd all the time. There happens to be a lot of seniors in this building right at this minute. They're not in this room, but they're in other rooms. They're doing things. There's other programs going on.
well, I have to say, to put a little bit of light on this, is that after that selectmen's meeting that occurred on this week, that there was a recommendation for the, seen as, we're very fortunate today, actually, we have Selectman Mary Jo, Jo Marie, I do that every time. I do that every time. Here with us today, which is a nice surprise, and I thank you for being here, along with several other people in our audience that, who tried to develop a committee, but it got voted down. So in that discussion, though, there was, as I mentioned to you, a suggestion of doing or working with the Permanent Buildings Committee. So I have to say, by, I think it must have been by 10 o'clock that morning, I got a call from someone from that Permanent Buildings Committee. Her name is Diane Allen. She is a resident here of Wilmington, I think for over 52 years.
Oh,
Is
Potential
on the
senior.
facilities master plan, was active in the facilities master plan, and is very much wanting to advocate and be a part, a liaison, and working with us for the senior center.
excuse me, could I ask
Permanent
what that name was again?
Diane Allen.
Thank you.
So, I know we seem to be repetitive as to your remarks at, that the need, but when I say that right now, we need some factual things, meaning that I think, this information group that would be great to develop with Diane, with a couple of younger, seniors, older people, developing this information group to be able to, we could pick 4 or 5 senior centers in our local area. Visit those senior centers and have a list of things that we, as a commission, would like everyone to look into when they go into those senior centers. So everyone's looking at the same exact thing and asking the same exact the questions. And so, for us to see what we really see that is needed for a new senior center. And so say for example, our kitchen, we can't have wood. We really, it's not a kitchen to be able to have large meals or a congregate meal site, because there's not warming stations. There's several things that are not there. So the need for a cooking kitchen, a need to be able to have meals Monday through Friday, or even Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Being able to have rooms where confidential offices. How many senior centers have that? How many senior centers have a large function room that they can divide possibly into 2 separate areas to be able to have several programs going on with their existing rooms of exercise rooms, computer rooms, sewing rooms, painting rooms, just to name just a few. How many senior centers right now have education rooms where they're teaching a foreign language, having an intergenerational program that could go on as an active part on a regular basis, not just for special events. These are the types of questions that we need to ask local senior centers that I know they have.
I'm sorry. Before I forget, because I'm a senior, an older senior, and I do forget. There was an incident not long back that I came to Terry. I had something personal I needed to discuss with her. Somebody asked me to. Terry and I went into 3 different rooms until we found one that was empty and private. It's pretty bad. People don't understand. Why should we be treated this way? I'm sorry, it's just, you go in this room, there's something going on. You go in this room, oh, there's somebody in there doing something. You go, why isn't there a conference room? Her office, she has to share with somebody else. Can't even use her office. I'm sorry.
No, you know what, that,
Continue.
don't
I'm
be sorry, don't
That
be sorry.
I mean, that irritated me. That bothered me. And I have not said anything about it since then. And I have to say it now before it gets suppressed.
And you know what, Robin, I wish I could say that you are the only one that happens to Laura and I, but it's not. It's actually a daily function as to someone coming in and trying to find a space where people need to be talking confidentially, whether it be finances, whether it be an illness in their family, whether it be an illness for themselves. People need to be able to talk confidentially, and it is very difficult in this building.
This is a pun on this. Why don't you invite one of the selectmen every other day or so to come for a conference and not have a place to do it, that they would see what's going on.
Those are the types of ideas. That's a wonderful idea, to have them come in.
I just hope that when they build a senior center, that they are not like Tewksbury. If you've ever been to Tewksbury, they've got a very nice building with 40-foot ceilings.
But
And
see,
it's
but
a
that's,
very,
John, that's the exact reason to be able to see some of these senior centers, to the do's and don'ts. Some of these senior centers are extremely open, as in, gosh, you know what? When we were doing this, I wish, it would be good, I wanna share this with you, because don't do this, but you should do this. As in when we visited Tewksbury, we have been to Tewksbury's, and they were very, very gracious to us, very open to us as to the pros and cons of that senior center. And they're, you know, every community would be very open to us to be able to meet with them.
Didn't that have to be federally approved, that senior center, because they're federally funded?
You know what, I can't answer that question.
Like, we would have more say because it's a town thing, it would have to go through the town meeting and stuff,
You know what,
where theirs didn't.
I can't answer that. I'm not sure. But again, we have that opportunity to speak up and find out the pros and cons of some of these centers.
one of the things I heard at a selectman meeting, I heard one of the selectmen say, well, we don't want to use the land. Well, if you don't want to use it, why buy it?
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah, why did they buy it in the first place?
Right, if you're not going to use it, why are you buying it?
Oh, again,
And
they
that
didn't
kinda
want any
shocked
more
me.
They didn't want any more building going on, is what I understood it to be.
well, my son's in his middle 50s, and when I told him about the meeting we were gonna have, he said, I'm all for it and I'm going. That's what
Well,
we
and
need,
that-
is young people to go to.
So that's the piece that, the other side of this is, besides doing the information finding, is the part two, is that at the selectmen's meeting, they have selected, and we're starting to put posters around the building, and we need to be a loud voice, is that on October 28th, which is a Monday, is going to be the facilities master plan discussion. It is going to be at the town hall. So it is very, very important that, you know, the same amount of energy that was there for September 30th will be there for October 28th
What time?
at 7 o'clock at the town hall.
Now, from what I saw at the meeting last night, the number of people that they're going to have there, they're not all going to be able to get into town hall.
You know what? Well, still go. There's
So
not-
we
you know
all
what?
arrive at 6 o'clock and get in there first.
Unless they postpone it again.
Excuse me?
He said unless they postpone it again.
Yeah,
No.
I know.
Thank you.
That only
Yeah.
works so many times.
Okay, do we have any comments from the audience now? Audrey,
I probably,
come on up here so you're on camera, please.
well, I don't have to be on the camera.
Sit right here, please.
No, it's all right, that's all right, that's
No.
all right, just let her
Well,
sit.
I
if she
just
wants.
wanna say this, that I have my button on, and where's everybody's button?
I'm
Right.
mine off my pocketbook.
Mine's on my
Right here.
pocketbook.
That's what I
Right
wanna
here.
say.
I lost mine.
That's, I think people are ashamed or afraid to.
I'm
wear
not
their-
ashamed, it fell off my pocketbook.
I know, but that's what I think, people are afraid to be seen out with this button on, and it was made to be worn so people know that you're for it.
I have mine attached to my pocketbook, okay, and I usually have that side of my pocketbook showing when I'm out. I was at a function, and I had that, and somebody came up to me and asked me, what does that mean? So I told them what it meant, and they said, you're right, so,
Well, it's
you know,
important.
maybe we'll get some of these young people there.
For me, since it was, you know, I designed it and made it so that when we went to the meeting on the 30th, we wouldn't be there and nobody know who we are. We all have a button on so they know who we are. We're there in force, just like the ice skating kids were there years ago. 5 years ago, the place was packed with young people, and they got it passed to buy that ice skating rink. Too bad it fell through. But if young people can do that, if everybody of our age stuck together and showed our pride and not be ashamed to show it.
Not
ashamed.
Well, all right,
Not
I'm
that
sorry, I
that-
take
No,
that back.
some people maybe, I'm
Anyways,
not.
I've said everything I wanted to say. Just
Do
we
you
have
have
to
any
keep,
more?
we have to keep the conversation going, so we are not gonna go away. We are gonna be there like this.
Watching you.
Anybody else?
I'll sit next to Robin, if that's okay. So, Joe Maria Mahoney, you know me as a member of the Board of Selectmen, and I've heard everything that you've said today. I heard everything that you've said in your previous meetings, and I've heard everything that was said the day that I came to speak with you. I wanted to come today. I didn't tell Terry I was coming today because I wanted to just have it be a meeting that wasn't tailored to the fact that I was going to be here after Tuesday night's meeting. I wanted it to be a meeting that you had free discussion and didn't feel like you needed to not pull punches. I appreciate that you didn't. I want to clarify, the Board of Selectmen didn't vote down this committee. It wasn't even open for a vote because I made a motion that no one would even second, right? So I walked out of that meeting and someone said to me, you know, sorry you lost. And I said, I certainly didn't lose. And I don't think the seniors lost tonight. My colleagues lost the opportunity to sit at the table by not formulating a committee that was gonna report back to the Board of Selectmen. So I love that Terry said she wanted to create a subgroup, because that was my purpose for coming today, was to try to grab Terry afterwards and say, I still want a seat at the table. I don't want you to feel like you're being
Thank you.
overlooked. And I want you to know that I see you. My grandfather, Frank Colosi, had lunch at the Linfield Senior Center every day until he turned 101. And I remember that, and I remember the joy it brought him. My father learned how to paint in retirement at the Burlington Senior Center. So I want you to understand that I can't promise you it's gonna happen overnight, because I know how slow some things can take. And I also wanna make it clear, what is driving me crazy in this current dynamic is it's that we have to make choices when we haven't even had a presentation of priorities. So I don't sit here saying I want a senior center at all costs, that I want the taxes to go up, that I want people to be basically priced out of staying in Wilmington. We might very well, you know, be able to get one of the schools. Maybe we modify the way the schools is structured, which is in the master plan that we've yet to be able to discuss. And we have a vacant school that we can modify to make a senior center. I don't know the answers yet. And that's why I wanted a committee created, because I need to hear from you. Terry gave great examples of things that would be on a wish list for a new senior center. But that's what I wanted to know, is what are the needs, what are the wants, what are the wishes, so that we have a prepared plan of saying, this is what the new center needs to look like. And this is how much space we need for it, so that it's the same as the ice rink that needs 5 acres of land or whatever. And it's the same as the safety building substation that needs 2 acres of land. I just want us to have the same seat at that table. So I came today because I wanted to hear kind of how your meetings go. I wanted to make sure you knew that basically some of my colleagues on the board have decided you're gonna be the voice, that they didn't wanna create a separate voice, which is fine. But I wanna be a part of this process with you. And if that means creating our own committee, then please let me know how I can join it. Because I think what happened on Tuesday night was the Board of Selectmen saying they're not willing to create another committee, but that doesn't mean that another committee shouldn't be created. And honestly, they lost their seat at the table at this point, and I feel bad for them. Because my hope is that we're having a different discussion in a different room, celebrating a new space, you know, and maybe they'll remember that they could have been one of the ones with the shovel in their hand too.
Thank you very much.
So I hear what you're saying. I don't have all the answers, but I wanted you to know this young person, if I can still consider myself a young person, is not gonna give up, and I don't want you to give up. I wanna be able to participate as much as you'll allow me to, because I do think this is a high priority, for the town. I think you deserve better. And I think, you know, the irony of it is, where I was starting to look at numbers, kids in the Wilmington hockey program have gone down in the past 5 years. Our senior population has gone up. So to me, that's, if for nothing else, if we're only numbers people, that should show us where our resources should be utilized at this point. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you. So if we can go back as to,
Excuse me.
sorry, yeah.
That's okay.
Wait a minute, no, I know that, but, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. My name is Linda Toth. I'm a newbie in the town of Wilmington.
Welcome, newbie.
Well, so I've been here for 9 years, but I consider myself a newbie.
You are a newbie.
Welcome. But I have been on the opposite side of this. When I was younger and I had my children, I was always for the things in the school for the kids and the opportunities for the kids. So I have to apologize to all of the seniors that I said the kids come first. Because now that I'm a senior and the facilities that are needed for the seniors, I think that we have to stand up and say, no more kids, seniors first. Because we, the seniors, are paying for everything that the parents want for their children in the school system. And they keep repeating and asking for the same things year after year after year. When I moved in here, I moved from Reading, so I moved from one really expensive town to Wilmington, because it had the size home that I needed for my children and grandchildren. When I went in to register to vote, I was told, well, you should be happy. We just voted in building a new high school. I went, how come my real estate agent didn't tell me this? I just got done paying, or started paying for a new high school in Reading, which none of my kids were going to, because they were all out of school. Same thing here. I don't have any children, any grandchildren. I don't have a stake in the school system outside of those children being educated so that we can carry on as a good nation. But that's another point. So I think that our problem as seniors is we don't speak up enough. We don't go to town meetings and say, hey, no more for the kids. They don't need a hockey rink. They've got Rustucia. So if their parents have to pay a little higher price for their practice time, so be it. We had to pay for our kids for if they wanted to go to computer school at that time, if they wanted to go horseback riding or whatever their interest was, it came out of our pocket as a parent. Why should the senior citizens here in town pay for things that parents should be paying for out of pocket the same as we did? Hockey, soccer, gymnastics. If it's not, hasn't been there as at the beginning of the school system or when the school was created, just because parents
parents don't wanna pay out of pocket for something that their child has an interest in, does not mean we seniors should have to do it. Now, if we scream and holler and become a squeaky wheel, maybe we'll get the grease. But we just can't have a small amount of seniors at town meeting. I've been to about 5, 6 town meetings since I moved here, and there are people that stand up and speak, but it's 1 or 2. It's not a pocket. It's not a group that stands up and stands behind this person and says, yes, we're tired of paying taxes for something we can't use. And when we ask for something that we can use, we get pushed aside. Well, maybe later. We have to do it for the kids. Look at the library. 2034 before they even want to even look at building a new library? That's what we need as seniors. That's a place that we can congregate and do that. That's 30-some years, 20-some years from now. I'm not good at math, so 20-some years from now, that we have to wait. And who's to say, as you said earlier, whether we're going to ever be able to use it? Because we might not be here. So my idea is that we need to, besides buttons, we need to just go to town meeting. If we can go to the finance committee, and I am not a person that goes to the finance committee or the school committee meetings until now. But we have to go there and we have to ask the questions. How many students are in the entire school system? How many students are in the hockey program? Or how many students would be using this facility? Or why do we have 6 art rooms in the high school? And you're telling us that we don't have enough room for incoming kids next year. How old is the high school? I don't know, they told us at last meeting, we only have the opportunity of 75 more students to come into our high school. And they said that they have 900 students? I don't see 900 students in that high school. But anyway, that's the school committee. So if we organize, if we really organize as the students do, or as the parents do, or the football players, or hockey parents come in, maybe our voices will be heard. But single voices that go up and complain or ask, they are going to be like a fly. They're going to be brushed aside and said, later, we'll do for you later. You know, we'll help you later, but right now we need to do this. And I think our response should be why. Like you said, why are we second class, or why do you feel that we don't need these things? You know, why don't you think that we need a 2-story senior center that has an elevator so that people that have mobility problems can go up and down? That spreads things out. We can go to the Bellrica Senior Center. I've gone there. Beautiful building. They've got elevators that go up. If we can't build out, sprawl out this way, can we build up on something? And I don't see anybody talking about that type of ideas in the past by the people that are quote in control. So if we want anything, I think it's time we take control. And if you agree, then maybe we should start putting posters in Demoulas and putting things out in the center on the common, you know, and they don't have to be polite. You don't have to say, please join us, you know, or whatever. Start making it so it stands out, or we should start making it so that we make them open their eyes, you know, like, what about the seniors? We could be dead tomorrow, you know, things like that. We have to be more forceful, not just in the groups that we all agree that we need this, but be more vocal to the point where We don't elect people that don't vote, that don't want to help the seniors. We don't support other programs that they feel is good for them. And we say, hey, we're paying taxes. You don't want to give us a senior center? Maybe we should stop paying our taxes. How would you like that? It's illegal, but maybe we should say things like that. Because a lot of our taxes are not going for what we can use.
Thank
So,
you.
sorry, I'm preaching, I know I'm preaching
Thank
to
you.
the choir,
Yep,
but.
yep, good job. Thank you. We'll make sure we get your name and number before you leave.
Any other comments from the audience? Any more comments from the commissioners? Mary?
Terry, is this meeting the 28th similar to the one we had from the planning board down here a few years ago? Where they present 5 issues that need to be taken care of in town?
No, this is, the facilities master plan meeting is the facilities master group that got together and they hired I don't wanna know if to say contract, but they hired a group to look at all the buildings and review it. They had the two sides, they had the the municipality buildings and they had the school buildings. And so this group, reviewed all this and now there's a report. And that meeting is to go over that report as to, and we know bits and pieces of it, how they're questioning where certain buildings should go, which building has the priority that should go first being built, that type of thing. That report, which we've been asking for a couple of years now to be discussed, that's what's gonna be discussed.
Okay.
So again, that's on the 28th, at 7 o'clock, at the town hall.
Be there.
Be there, as Audrey says. So I have to say something, though, as in what just happened in this room. As, you know what, our biggest fear, as you said, Charlotte, and you mentioned Robin, and you mentioned Gail, and also Mark, as in, you know what, we feel like we're defeated. You feel like, oh my gosh.
They don't care.
Well, just as you just started this conversation and you opened up with all your honesty saying, it stimulated, look at the discussion in the small room of what it stimulated. You need to take that energy and that aggravation and your concerns and your wants, and we gotta do something with it. No, don't let it push you down. You already started it up again right now. That little time, you already started it up again. And we're very fortunate today to have the selectman here, Jo Marie,
Thank
here, and as a nice surprise. But, I think, and having people speak from residents in the community, speaking openly and honestly of their concerns and their wants, this is what they asked. They asked us to get the concerns and wants of the residents that we could see being using the senior center. So it's our group, as a group of commissioners, this is what we need to do, okay? And the first way of doing that is making this informational group. But the other thing is, speak out loud and speak out strong about the importance, as Audrey has keep telling us, keeping the conversation going and making sure we are at that meeting on October 28th. Don't be concerned that, oh my gosh, the building's too small, it's not gonna house all, I'm gonna go there and, nope, so what? So we stand out in the hallway. Not everybody is gonna be sneezing and coughing and everything going on out in that hallway, so we're not gonna be like, we're gonna be quiet. People need to know that you wanna be there. So, I wanna thank you so much for saying, oh, there's another one.
Are you gonna have a bus for the people that don't wanna drive at night?
If there's a need for that, yes, just as before, if anyone is a transportation issue, let us know up front with Lisa and ourselves, and we will most definitely, I know driving at night is an issue, and we will not make that an issue.
Yes.
I think the selectmen and other officials need to be reminded that the senior population votes.
Well, I think you just reminded them. I think you just reminded them.
I would like to say it's fantastic to see this crowd out here. I'd like to see you here every month. Bring a friend. And the other thing I'd like to say is, I know some people are bashful about getting up and speaking, myself included. So if you'd like something mentioned, leave a note at the front desk. Just say, I would like to see this on the senior center, and leave it at the front desk and ask that it be turned over to one of the commissioners.
Perfect.
Okay? Everybody all set? We have a motion to adjourn?
I'd like to make that motion.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.